Hey guys, what's going on? My name is Ted, and today I'm proud to bring you guys a Resistance gameplay. And this is actually going to be a long gameplay. I got a big topic to cover, and it's actually something a little bit about me that I don't think many people know, and I guess you could probably guess it, to be honest. But I love Machinima Respawn, and if you've ever been following Machinima Respawn, or if you've ever watched their channel, you can easily tell why I love it so much. And the reason is, for me at least, is I love the people over there. All the directors are awesome. Obviously, I love all the content that goes up. I'm a big video game nerd. I mean, I'm not afraid to admit that I tell everyone at school knows that I love video games. They don't really care though, because aside from video games, I'm still a pretty fun guy at school too, and pretty enjoyable to be around. But yeah, I'm pretty cool. No big deal. Anyways, but I do love Machinima Respawn. I love the content that goes up on there, and I get so nostalgic. At least today I did. I got super nostalgic. Because if you've been following Machinima Respawn, you know that Hutch is completely gone. He left back to, I think he went to North California. He went back with his family, and he's starting a whole new life. He basically gave up YouTube. He gave up pretty much Twitter. He posted on a little bit of Twitter, and but for the most part, he's gone. You know, he's out of the picture. He's no longer with Machinima Respawn, and I'll be honest. It's like having this is gonna sound so nerdy. It's like having that best friend that you know at school, or that you've been best friends with for a long time, and then he like all of a sudden leaves, and you're like, well, you can't do that. You need to stay. Well, who am I gonna laugh at now? You know, he was the funnest guy on Machinima Respawn, and when he's gone, it's like, well, it's no longer fun anymore. And I take that back. It is still a lot of fun. I love Machinima Respawn still, but Hutch was like that personality, that figure of just absolute hilarity. Just his overall appearance, like this little guy that always got his hands in his pocket, you know. Hey guys, my name's Hutch, I play Call of Duty. Let's do this, you know. He's a funny guy, and he's an awesome guy. I mean, he was so smart, so talented at not just video games, but just life in general. If you've ever watched a lot of his commentaries, I think I favorited maybe 15 or 20 of his commentaries, and I've only got 150 favorites from the last 6 years of YouTube, or not 6 years, I'm sorry, about 4 years of YouTube on my channel. I've been on YouTube since basically the day it came out. And Hutch probably has the highest rating of number of videos that I favorite. And guys, I'm a skeptic. I don't fucking favorite a video unless it's some good shit. But Hutch always had those great videos on his personal channel. A couple ones that come to the absolute top are his quick scoping guides. Those were awesome. Just the way that he talked about it. But the one that I absolutely love, probably my favorite video ever by Hutch, is when he talked about racism and he talked about his family. It was more of like a get personal only with Hutch. I really liked it. He's so down to earth, and he was such a great person. And God, him not being on Machinima Respawn anymore, it literally made me nostalgic today. I went home today, and I was watching one of the Respawn episodes today, Respawn Insider. And you know how Respawn is; they always like link you to different videos. Anyways, Respawn Insider today had one video that was that they talked about that I had missed on Respawn, and it was about the whole Respawn. It was basically like a cut of all of the Respawn videos and of just the different people talking about Machinima Respawn and how it's evolved since its release date, you know, back in December of 2009, or whenever day it was. I'm not sure if it was December. But anyway, so I watched that video, and then what I saw in that video was I saw Scene Haters and I saw Hutch. And so I went back, and in the description was a link to one of the Respawn episodes that was recent, and that had Hutch and Scene Haters in it. And I was like, oh my god, you know, I missed these so much. The Respawn episodes was with Sark, Hutch, and Scene Haters were just, they were perfect. I mean, they were literally the video that I would watch every day that were just the best videos. You had Inbox every Thursday, but even before then, I mean, I remember back when Respawn Inbox, or not Inbox, when the Respawn crew, you know, the Respawn episodes came out every day, and it was just Sark, Hutch, and Scene Haters just sitting there, you know, outside of their offices and just talking for like 10 minutes, and that was the video that I absolutely loved each day. There was nothing else that could compare to those videos. Like, that was the one video that I would make sure I watched first in my subscriptions before I delved into my 3 hours of YouTube watching every day. I loved it, and Hutch was honestly the main character that I loved. I mean, he like I said before, he was the smartest person. If I had to have a conversation with probably one person in the world, I mean, I'd consider him the #1 person in the world that I'd like to have a conversation with, because not only is he smart, but he's also very humble. He's got great ideas, and he's not afraid to share them. We don't see eye to eye on a lot of things. I know that he's big on he doesn't really know as far as religion goes, and doesn't really believe in God, and that's huge with me. Like, I don't share this either much very often on my channel, but I'm actually a really religious person. And but he's not one of those people where if I told him about religion, he wouldn't be closed-minded at all. I guess that's another huge thing is he's so open-minded of a person, and I really do like that in people, and it's actually really rare to find. But the Respawn episodes were hilarious, and they're still good. I love APL Fisher. If you've been watching them recently, APL Fisher's kind of been taken over with Sark on the Respawn episodes, and that's cool. I like APL Fisher, but they need someone else. And then there's Anders too. Anders kind of dropped out of the race, not entirely. He's still on Respawn, and Anders is actually, it's actually kind of a good thing because he's making more videos on his own channel, which I really like. But it's not the same, you know. That group of three, I mean, that was like the dynamic trio. You know, they each complemented each other so perfectly. There was no drama with them three. They were all hilarious. I mean, literally, it didn't matter what they said. It didn't matter how they said it. Them just sitting there on that table and then just making the most stupid remarks to, especially Inbox. That was my favorite show. Because the questions they would choose are just the most laughable questions in the world, like your porn star name, or just whatever the hell they ended up saying. I mean, it's just the funniest things. And then you had Hutch would just say something, and everyone else would just like geek out for like 5 seconds, and then they'd start singing or whatever. It was a blast. It was the best episodes ever. And I get so nostalgic going back and watching those episodes. I'm like, oh my god, I wish that I could watch more of these. You know, I wish that this happened still every Thursday. Sorry about that, guys. My phone rang. I wanted to move on right now to the legacy, I guess, that we could say that Hutch has left behind for me as a person. I know this sounded so corny. I'm sorry. For any of you guys that don't know Hutch, this is gonna sound way over the top about a person that I don't even know, and I'm sorry about that. You really have to know Hutch and have to know the Machinima crew to understand what kind of people they are, and you also have to realize that I've been following them for two or more years now on YouTube. So what they are to me is more of like this best friend characteristic that I can't really obtain, or I can't really describe to someone who doesn't realize who they are. The best way I could say is put it like this. Let's say you've got a pen pal over in Africa somewhere that you just talk with every day, and you really get a feeling and a sense of a person, who they are, and they're a very in-depth person. That's how I feel about Hutch, and seeing Anders and Sark for that matter too, but they're still at the crew. Hutch is the one I'm focusing on right now. I learned so much from Hutch. I think the main thing, if I could narrow it down to one thing that I learned from Hutch that's absolutely invaluable in my life, is I learned to question things. I'll give a perfect example. I remember on a Respawn episode of Hutch, or I'm sorry, of an Inbox episode with Hutch on it and seeing Anders and Sark. One thing they were asked was to describe themselves in 3 words. And I honestly can't remember the exact 3 words, I'm sorry, but the basic lines were from Hutch were, I have questions, or something along that, or I question things. I think those were his 3 words. And made me think, because in my life, let's say someone tells me something, I don't really question it. I think about it. If it seems logical, I'll go with it. But for Hutch, he questions things, and I follow his Twitter. I know the way he is. He's a very questioning person. In fact, just today, he posted a Twitter question about the whole meaning of life and why he's here. And I'm like, I never would have thought of that. Like, things like that are what sets Hutch and the legacy that he's left behind with me and with, I'm sure, hundreds of thousands of people on Machinima that watch his episodes, every day back in the day. It's ridiculous the things that I think about now that I wouldn't have thought about before. Just because Hutch, kind of spurred that inside of me, spurred that little thought, that motivation inside of me to ponder a little bit deeper in my thoughts. If you watch any episodes of Quality Time with Hutch, you're going to realize he's a very in-depth person, a very analytical person, and he always poses a couple questions in his commentaries that make me actually really think. No one else did that back on Machinima, or even today, honestly. I don't think anyone does that. That actually makes me think. That's why I'd watch everything with Hutch. I mean, the second I saw Hutch in a thumbnail or the words Hutch, in the Machinima video, I'm going to watch that video. It's not one I'm going to pass up. I can't pass that one up. It's a very important video. And now that he's gone, I'm just going back and rewatching a lot of the ones that I favorited from him. And the legacy they left behind with me personally is really, really great. I wish that he wasn't gone. I could say that all day long until I'm blue in the face. Hutch, in the millionth of a chance that you actually watch this, let me know how you're doing. I hope you're doing good, because I know that a person like you, a person like Hutch, is as smart as can be. I know it seems like, video game nerds, they're not really smart, they're just good at Call of Duty. I don't feel like Hutch was that way, and I don't, overanalyze this too much, but I think Hutch was actually a very smart person outside of Call of Duty, outside of the video game world. At least he gave me that appearance, and I don't often get fooled by intelligence. He questioned so many things that, and the way he thought about things, his thought process in general, showed me he was a really smart guy. I'm out of gameplay. I could honestly talk about this forever. I hope Hutch has a good thing in life stored for him. he definitely left me with, a bunch of extra thoughts and a bunch of extra motivation. The gameplay's out now. I'm just going to throw something at the very end to end this off. I guess the final thing I'll say is that I hope Hutch goes somewhere further in life, because I know that Respawn, for whatever reason for him, wasn't doing it. It seems like everyone's dream, but I do know that everyone has different dreams. And as far as what I gathered from Hutch's leaving video, it seemed to me like it was kind of a spur-of-the-moment thing, but maybe I got the wrong impression. Either way, though, I'm sure that he knows what he's doing. He's a very smart person, as I've said several times. Hopefully he'll get a good job somewhere doing something he really enjoys. Respawn, I think, was that way, but I feel like it kind of got him burnt out after a while. It might have been a very repetitive thing, but I'd love to know, because he didn't really give a specific reason. And I think a lot of people are wondering, what that reason is, why he's left Machinima Respawn. But as far as that goes, I'll leave it up to him. Hopefully he'll tweet out sometime, or maybe post a video on his channel, an update video. I'd love to just see an update of what's going on in his life, because I sure as hell miss him. I'm sure there's several thousand people out there that do as well. I just wanted to express my opinions on this thought. If you know Hutch, you'll be able to relate it. I'm sure if you stayed this long, you can definitely relate to what I'm saying. So Hutch, if you're out there, good luck in the real world. I guess the whole world's the real world for you. But I hope you learned some answers. You've taught me several things, and I appreciate it. Bye.